Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajadanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajadanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Jaya Madhav Madhav Radhe Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe Radha Madhav Jaya Prabhupada 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 Vishupad Paramahamsa Privrajagacharya Stotra Satta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Hilabai Charanarvin Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandi Biti Founder Charya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samavata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Dainita Gold Pimanande all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to be assembled devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glorious to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Svam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sati Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhesya Kripa Sindhubhya Evasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Madhiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesha Badrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and a loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, and becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasyaya Namaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literal incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
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 Om Sarabhyai Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyai Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyai Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Mukam karoti vasam pangun langayate grim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Two brave souls coming through heavy rain
Minimum
and
four.
minimum four. Yeah.
One day, Krishna Balram Hall, big.
All big place, big, all yes. Well, actually, Prabhupada would give Bhagavatam class even there was nobody. There's recording Prabhupada giving class, and there's nobody. Well, no human being. So many living entities are there, but yeah. We continue reading from Canto number 1, chapter 8, the prayers by Queen Kunti. And today's text is 34. Yes. Oh, okay. And this chapter has 51. Oops, 52 verses. So we're halfway through, more or less, more than halfway. Okay. Bhara Avataranaya Bhuvo. I'm sorry. Anye Bhuvo Nava Ivo Dadao Siddhantya Bhuri Bharena Jato Ihi Atma Bhuvartitaha Bharavataranayanyi Bhuvunava Ivo Dadao Sidantya bhuri bharina
Sidantya bhuri bharena
Tato yatma bhuvartitaha
jato yatma
Bharavataranayanyi
bharavataranaye
Bhuvo nava ivo dadao
bhunavadodadau
Sidantya bhuri bharina
Sidantya bhuri bharena
Jato yatma bhuvartitaha
yatma bhuvartitaha
Bharavataranayanyi
bharavataranaye
Bhuvo nava ivo dadao
bhuvanavayodadau
Sidantya bhuri bharina
Sidantya bhuri bharena
Jato hyatma bhuvartitaha
jato yatma bhuvartitaha Bharavataranayanni Bharavataranayanni Bhuvo Navaivo Dadau
Bhuvo nava ivo dadao
Sidantya Bhuri Bharena
Sidantya bhuri bharina
Jato Yatma Bhuvadita
Jato yatma bhuvartitaha
Bharavataranayanni
Bharavataranayanyi
Bhuvo Nava Ivo Dadhau
Bhuvo nava ivo dadao
Sidantya Bhuri Bharena
Sidantya bhuri bharina
Jato Hyatma Bhuvartita
Jato yatma bhuvartitaha
Bharavataranayanni
Bhatavataranayanyi
Bhuvo Nava Ivo Dadhau
Bhuvo navo ivo dadao
Siddhanta Bhuri Bharena
Sidantya bhuri bharina
Jato Hi Atma Bhuvartitaha
Jato yatma bhuvartitaha Bhara avataranaya
Bharavataranaaya
just to reduce the burden
just to reduce the burden
to the world.
to the world.
Anye,
Anye
others.
others.
Bhuvaha,
Bhuvaha
of the world.
of the world.
Navaha,
Navaha
both.
both.
Iva,
Iva
like.
like
Dadao,
Dadau
on the sea.
on the sea.
Sidantyaha,
Siddhantyaha
aggrieved.
aggrieved.
Bhuri,
Bhuri
extremely.
extremely.
Bharena,
Bharena
by the burden.
by the burden.
Jataha,
Jataha
you were born.
you were born.
He,
He
certainly.
certainly
Atmabhuva,
Atma Bhuva
by Brahma.
by Brahma.
Artitaha,
Artitaha
being prayed for.
being prayed for.
Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Kind of repeat after me. Others say that the world,
Others say that the world
being overburdened
being overburdened
like a boat at sea,
like a boat at sea
is much aggrieved,
is much aggrieved.
and that Brahma,
And that Brahma,
who is your son,
who is your son,
prayed for you,
prayed for you.
and so you have appeared
And so you have appeared
to diminish the trouble.
to diminish the trouble.
Purport. Brahma, or the first living being born just after the creation, is the direct son of Narayana. Narayana, as Garbhodakshay Vishnu, first of all entered the material universe. Mm. Without spiritual contact, matter cannot create. This principle was followed from the very beginning of the creation. The Supreme Spirit entered the universe, and the first living being, Brahma, was born on the lotus flower grown out of the transcendental abdomen of Vishnu. Vishnu is therefore known as Padmanabha. Mm. Brahma is known as Atmabhu because he was begotten directly from the Father without any contact of Mother Lakshmiji. Lakshmiji was present near Narayana, engaged in the service of the Lord, and still without contact with Lakshmiji, Narayana begot Brahma. Mm. That is the omnipotency of the Lord. One who foolishly considers Narayana like other living beings should take a lesson from this. Narayana is not an ordinary living being. He is the personality of Godhead himself, and he has all the potencies of all the senses in all parts of his transcendental body. An ordinary living being begets a child by sexual intercourse, and he has no other means to beget a child other than the one designed for him. But Narayana, being omnipotent, is not bound to any condition of energy. He is complete and independent to do anything and everything by his various potencies very easily and perfectly. Brahma is therefore directly the son of the Father and was not put into the womb of a mother. Therefore, he is known as Atmabhu. This Brahma is in charge of further creations in the universe, secondarily reflected by the potency of the omnipotent. Within the halo of the universe, there is a transcendental planet known as Shvetadweep, which is the abode of Kshirodakshay Vishnu, the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord. Whenever there is trouble in the universe that cannot be solved by the administrative demigods, they approach Brahmaji for a solution. And if it is not to be solved even by Brahmaji, then Brahmaji consults and prays to Kshirodakshay Vishnu for an incarnation and solution to the problems. Such a problem arose when Kamsa and others were ruling over the earth, and earth became too much overburdened by the misdeeds of the Asuras. Brahmaji, along with other demigods, prayed at the shore of the Kshirodaka ocean, and they were advised of the descent of Krishna as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. So some people say that the Lord appeared because of the prayers of Brahmaji. Translation again. Others say that the world, being overburdened like a boat at sea, is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you And so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Yes. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, in the context of Lord Brahma, um, as it is quite elaborately um, presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, refers to how even a personality like Lord Brahma uh, is born from Narayana or Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. There's a whole detailed description of actually first canto, second canto. Um, there's what is called first creation and second creation, or secondary creation. Mm, mm. Lord Brahma appears, that is, again, describing the uh, omnipotency of the Lord, that he very different from us who are um, in living entities in this human uh, body. Creation takes place, as mentioned by Prabhupada, through intercourse between male and female, whereas in the spiritual, well, not the spiritual realm, but at the beginning of creation, the Lord displays his omnipotency that directly uh, Lord Brahma is um, appears from the abdomen. Very interesting that this nice picture is there on the Brahma Samhita. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu lying on the Garbha ocean, and then this from his abdomen sprouts this what is it?
Lotus flower.
Yeah, yeah. And what is, anyways,
Stem.
the stem? Correct. Yeah, the stem. The stem. I don't know if the stem. We have the mm, mm, just like when a child is born, there's also a stem. We call it the umbilical cord.
Yes.
Interesting how there is that kind of connection, we could say. So Narayana, here Prabhupada is mentioning how this is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is uh, Narayana, and also the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, our acharyas, as directed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gives us um, very detailed information about, let's say, the difference between Narayan uh, and Krishna. In the even within our Vaishnava Sampradayas, for example, um, they accept Narayan as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not directly Krishna, although everyone respects Krishna. So the point being here that actually uh, the Lord is omnipotent. He can do things that are inconceivable. He's constantly actually doing inconceivable his energies that are at work constantly, and the whole material cosmic manifestation is an example of his inconceivable energies. The whole description of how the creation takes place, it is inconceivable to us. Actually, one of the reasons, main reason, why Srila Prabhupada wanted that we have here in Sridham Mayapur the Temple of Vedic Planetarium was to actually uh, show within the within what is it, the planetarium, which is which is uh, yeah, which is uh, within the globe um, of the planetarium, and those are nicely um, and very much in detail described in the fifth canto of the Bhagavatam. Actually, uh, um, I was when Prabhupada was translating after completing his first canto, as we know, which he completed in India. Then he left for America, and then he continued to translate. So by the year 1974, Prabhupada was actually translating the fifth canto. And he had, wherever he would go, he would continue, because that was his main daily service. And devotees from different temples would come generally to where Prabhupada was, simply to get his darshan and to get his association. So we had traveled from the Ottawa temple, it's about a 2-hour drive, to Montreal when Prabhupada was visiting. And Prabhupada was staying in the apartment of the temple president, because we didn't have so much of, we had just acquired actually a new temple, which is still present now in Montreal. It was a church before. Actually, in the West, devotees acquired quite a few churches that were just abandoned, I guess, or not properly utilized. So, um, naturally, uh, where Prabhupada was staying, it was like an apartment, not so big. And so, but we all went there, I don't know, quite a few devotees. And Prabhupada had some, his place was in a room, and we could hear some of the discussion. And we were trying very hard to hear as much as we could. And at that time, there was actually discussion about the fifth canto of the Bhagavatam. And I remember Prabhupada was, we couldn't see, we could only hear. But at one point, devotees were, because the fifth canto, this whole section about this cosmic manifestation is not at all easy to understand. And yes, the TOVP, Temple of Vedic Planetarium, Prabhupada's great desire and expectation was that we make a replica. We simulate, so to speak, what is described in the Bhagavatam to show how the whole universe is actually working. So at one point, in one of the questions, I forget exactly which question was asked, but Srila Prabhupada replied, and to me it was um, an additional, we could say, confirmation, an additional confirmation of the uh, position of Srila Prabhupada. His answer was to that question was that, uh, and what I have just described, because he had been, it was an ongoing conversation, and what I have just described is based on realization. In other words, someone who is on the platform of Srila Prabhupada, someone who is, if you're devotee and self-realized, of course, he is always making reference to Shastra, but at the same time, Krishna reveals. Krishna reveals. That's, of course, there in the first canto of the Bhagavatam. It's there in the Bhagavad Gita as well. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. And especially in the Bhagavatam, um, Evam prasanamanaso bhagavat bhakti yogata bhagavat tattva vijnanam, uh, realize knowledge. So that was in reference to a little bit what is being described here. One of our devotees had explained how it's like when the sky is clear at night, when we're not living in cities, because in the cities there are too many lights, we cannot see the sky. When we go to the country, I'm sure you've had that experience, we can see so many stars, and stars are things that have been studied since long time. uh, Cosmology, the science of the cosmos, and in certain places on a very clear sky, you can see what is called the Milky Way. I don't know what is the term in other languages, but in English it's called the Milky Way. And of course, it's only when we become devotees, when we come in contact with Krishna consciousness, that we can begin to understand the Milky Way, because here it's making reference to Shweta which is an island of milk, surrounded by milk. So the Milky Way is actually the Ganges, isn't it? That is descending from this, what's the name of that river? Viraj. That is separating the spiritual world and the material world. It's kind of like, uh, of course, we could say mystical. That's described in the Bhagavatam, that there is this river, transcendental river, that is separating the spiritual world from the material world. And when in the Leela of Lord Vamanadev, when he put his toe that pierced the universe, then from that piercing of the universe, a few drops of the Ganges came in the universe, and those few drops are what is known as the Ganga. So how the whole material structure is how it is created and how it is working is remains a mystery, actually, and is not so easy to understand, and therefore persons who are a little bit humble can begin to at least appreciate how uh, actually more people are coming to the conclusion or understanding that there has to be what is it? Mm, there's a particular design to this cosmic manifestation, which means that there is some intelligent design. It's become in the last so many years one of the, we could say, important philosophies. Although people don't know, may not even know about the Vedas, may not even know obviously about Krishna, but those who are having a certain sense of observation can understand that there is a particular intelligent design to this cosmic manifestation. And of course, personalities like Queen Kunti Devi, who is aware of uh, the, I mean, of the position of Lord Krishna. She's also understanding, she's making reference here particularly that the Lord has appeared actually because of the desire or the prayers of Lord Brahma. And of course, Prabhupada in the purport goes on to explain a little bit in detail how Lord Brahma also, like Krishna, appears in a very unusual way. Lord Brahma, also the first created being, appears in the in the by the will of um, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So she continues her different, um, yeah. In the last few verses, we've been reading how she is uh, presenting different reasons um, why the Lord appears in in the material world. So any thoughts on this? Yes.
This Lord Brahma made some offense. That's why he appeared. This Lord Brahma, material world. He comes from his spiritual world.
Lord Brahma made some offense.
From
That's why.
from Goloka, he come.
Lord, okay, yeah, I think I understand your question. uh, well, Lord Prabhupada explains that Lord Brahma is, it is just like in a country, somebody becomes a prime minister or president. It's a post. And Lord Brahma is a jiva, uh, is, is, uh, is a living entity, like we are all living entities. Mm. That is part of the uh, knowledge or tattva that is uh, given or explained, yeah, in the Shastra. So yes, Lord Brahma is not always a pure devotee. Lord Brahma, just like all living entities um, who come in the material world, vast majority, I mean, sometimes, but extremely rare, some nitya, you know, um, there is eternal, huh? Nityasiddha, yeah. Some eternally liberated soul may appear in the material world. So they appear um, as part of Krishna's plan, and they appear in the material world, um, remaining as Nityasiddha, eternally perfected living entities. But the different Lord Brahmas who appear, uh, they have different kind of situation. The idea is that as long as one has some kind of uh, independent desire or material desire, then one appears in the material world. So, in other words, just like, yeah, you could say that Lord Brahma committed the same offense that we all committed, that we find ourselves here in the material world. Actually, in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada was explaining how very often, as we know, Prabhupada would use the expression rascal. And we're all rascals because we have, left Krishna's lotus feet. We have committed that offense of thinking that we can enjoy independently or separately, or that we some kind of independent thinking was there that disqualified us, isn't it, to remain in the association of Krishna. So like that, Prabhupada was going on explaining how in this way in the material world there's so many rascals are there. And in that particular lecture, he mentioned even Lord Brahma is rascal. uh, of course, just like all of us, uh, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we are uh, primarily under the mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mixture of the three modes. But upon coming in contact with devotees, with this knowledge, then we can, isn't it, we can go from our fallen position of nitya baddha, eternally conditioned, and eventually rise to the level of becoming uh, those who take up, they're referred to as sadhana siddha, through the process of sadhana, right? Three types of siddhas: sadhana siddha, nitya siddha, and kripa siddha. So um, um, it's of course the most elevated, we could say, material position in the world, in the creation, to be a Lord Brahma. But it's like in a country, for example, to become the president or the prime minister is like the highest position in the country, and anyone in any citizen can has the opportunity to be to become a president, isn't it? But it's only it's very rare that only some select persons. So it's similar situation for Lord Brahma also. Mm. Yes.
Continue to this question.
Yes. Yes.
In what context Lord Brahma was appeared and taken birth in a Muslim religion as Srila Haridas Thakur, and why he had been tortured in 24
Marketplaces.
marketplaces.
Yes.
What is the context, and why he has put and in that situation? Is that to make that the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very important in this age of Kali, or something else?
There are different reasons, because actually um, I read somewhere that he was actually born in a Hindu family, but immediately was raised in a Muslim family.
Oh.
In any event, he was from early uh, childhood attracted to the holy name, and which was naturally very disturbing to because he was known as a Muslim, yeah. And as we know, because of his association with the Vaishnavas, and in particular with Advaita, Srila Advaita Acharya, he was given the title by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nam Acharya. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur. So one of the reasons was to show or to indicate that anyone from any background can actually take up to what is the Yudharma for this age of Kali. It means the chanting of the holy name. So yes, he different in the Gaura Lila. There are different devotees who take on different, even in the Krishna Lila, like Vidura, he is Jamaraj, right? So there are connections there with personality. Sometimes one will be connected with a particular person in terms of what is it? In terms of displaying some particular quality that is very prominent in that other personality. Um, so, what is the detail? I'm not familiar with the detailed connection of Haridas Thakur in terms of being uh, representing. Uh, that's in the Chaitanya. Where is it? Chaitanya Charitamrita. That reference to Haridas Thakur as his connection with Lord Brahma.
I'm not sure that he had been born and brought up in Muslim family.
Yes.
And before that, how he was, is there any curse to Brahmaji or?
Like we know a little bit the story of Narada Muni, who, of course, in the Bhagavatam himself speaks about his previous births. But I don't recall reading or hearing specifics about Haridas Thakur in terms of previous activity. I mean, we all have, even ourselves, we've all existed before and performed different activities. I don't recall any specifics about that. Is there anything? Do you know? Yeah. Yes.
Lord Brahma often in Krishna Lila, he stole cows and cowherd boys, and but Lord Krishna not curse him. But Lord Brahma himself accept to born in Muslim family, not Muslim family, Hindu family, lot of Muslim family, and by no, he said, Lord Brahma said no offense in Chaitanya Lila. From Krishna to give mercy him, Lord Brahma said to Krishna, to mercy me, and I not offense your next Lila.
Where you have read this?
I listen.
Listen. Yeah. Yeah, very often in some shastra there might be more elaborate explanation given. Uh, it might be referred to in Prabhupada's books. I'm not sure, but yeah, very often we read about different pastimes, uh, and when something, yeah, like in the case of mm, Lord Brahma stealing the calves, and or similar type of activities that take place, then we read about an exchange where, okay, you will get an opportunity in your next birth to render some service or something like that. Um, I don't recall the specifics in regards to. Other comments or thoughts?
I like the mood of Kunti Devi that she's mentioning that some says, others says, and whatever he says, that's proved by Shastra. It's not like she mentioned there are speculations about your appearance, but there are truth about your appearance. And she offers for different listeners different understanding, because not everyone is ready to accept that Krishna just by his own will and because of his pastimes appears. People have to have some reason why the Lord appears, and have to they have different understanding the nature of the Lord. So they have answers from different shastra according to their need. So I see it's very nice that she doesn't make an argument. That's better. That's better.
Yeah.
And it shows that if we read different shastra, different statements, we need to have the same mentality. We accept all. We don't make comparison. That's better. That's not better. But we just glorify the shastra, glorify Krishna's different natures, which people are accepting or glorifying. It's a very nice way how we can live in different people's association in the society when there are different peoples.
Right. Yeah. It means that there are different angles, different aspects, which all of them, as you mentioned, that she is referring to, are based on Shastra as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That shows that people have not necessarily pure devotion, means someone is coming to God because suffering. And Krishna protecting that person. Someone is coming to Lord, become famous. And Krishna is showing, yes, you can be famous if you are devotee of me.
Right.
And also if someone wants to reach, okay, you can come and you can become rich like that.
Right.
So Krishna is very, very merciful for everyone to reciprocate.
Right. We say in English, he's very accommodating. Accommodating means he's open. And yes. Other point is that Krishna being unlimited, so there are unlimited features and unlimited ways we can we can appreciate the Lord, and he does things for many reasons, like this is in reference when Kunti Devi is speaking about different reasons why the Lord appears. Definitely he appeared because of the desire of Vasudeva and Devaki. That's true. Also because the demigods went to pray along with Lord Brahma, isn't it? On the shore. Yeah, right. Because of the overburden of demoniac elements on the planet. So they're all interconnected, and they're all true, of course, as well. Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Here in the translation, it is mentioned that the material world was burdened like a ship at the sea was aggrieved by that much of burden.
Yes.
So at that time, it was so much burden. Uh, uh, if that is that much of burden was there, how the burden is being is now in this Kali Yuga, how much the burden uh, is facing Mother Nature and everything.
Yes.
So, how can we say that, and how can we realize that how much burden there is in this material world, in this Kali Yuga?
At different times, there are the burden that is being referred to was at the end of Dwapara Yuga, isn't it? Um, which is when the Lord appeared. So at different times, that is the nature of the material world. When living entities are neglecting to follow the principles of dharma, then it creates a burden. And of course, uh, Kali Yuga is that special period where there will be uh, that is the nature of Kali Yuga. People who are born in Kali Yuga are born in this age because of their degraded nature, and so it's natural that there will be uh, heavy burden. Kali Yuga is especially meant for that type of very um, difficult period, and of course we know from reading Shastra how although I mean generally there is what is it 1,000 Kali Yugas in the day of Lord Brahma, 1,000 cycles, isn't it, of Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali Yuga. But within, although we may uh, not be able to fully understand, but within this Kali Yuga, 500 years ago, with the advent of Lord Chaitanya, there is a special means or way by which to alleviate that burden. And it's ongoing under our very eyes, and we cannot so easily understand it because, uh, on the one hand, Lord Chaitanya appeared to actually uh, bring about, we could say, the solution to the burden that is presently ongoing, just like during Krishna's time, the solution to that burden was the battle of Kurukshetra, right? Which brought all the, we could say, pious kings to fight against those who were supporting Duryodhana. we have a different kind of scenario in Kali Yuga at this present stage, but we know that there are so many demoniac elements, and because it's a different age, and the Lord, um, the Lord has appeared as Lord Chaitanya to bring the proper remedy to the existing burden. It's being, what they say, it's being played out. I mean, it's like we're part of the movie. We're part of the drama. there's a major major drama taking place on the planet right now, which is in many ways it's part of the whole development of Kali Yuga, and it's of course at this particular point in the history of mankind, and later on, Prabhupada, he wrote uh, or or mentioned how the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the movement, the Hare Krishna movement, will one day go down in history uh, as having actually changed the course of history, as having actually saved humanity from its present condition. But that's only for a certain period of time, um, as mentioned in the Shastra. For 10,000 years, there's going to be the presence of such a yuga. So we are in some very, we could say, mysterious or inconceivable way, part of that ongoing drama. It's like uh, references are there in the Shastra to support, isn't it, um, how the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is meant to bring about. And again, it may not be so easy to understand because, although the movement of Lord Chaitanya is ongoing, there's still so much of demoniac activities which seem to be increasingly present and practically daily uh, becoming more and more with all of the different crises that are there. And, we are in the 1970s when Prabhupada was speaking to the devotees. That is, especially you find this in conversations, in letters as well. Prabhupada mentioned that, they have made, modern day leaders, they have made the nuclear bomb. So many countries now have the nuclear bomb. And Prabhupada mentioned that because they have the nuclear bomb, at some point, someday, they're going to use it. See, we're on the verge of that happening now, as we speak, actually. And so Prabhupada spoke about World War III, right? And he said a number of things. How, because devotees were asking, what should devotees do? What's going to happen? This and that. One of the things Prabhupada said is that the preaching will be very good after the war. Yes.
And at the beginning of the Mahabharata, there is a description that what was really causing anxiety in Mother Earth, because there was a conspiracy plan according in the assembly of demons, demonical persons, not like not just simply human beings who have rascal mind, but they are living in different planets, and they have a plan to to make demigods weak by over coming to the earth, taking taking birth in the earth and destroying the Brahminical culture. So they decided to take birth as kings, and they stopped all the yogyas. And that was their plan. If they stop the yogyas, then gods become weak and we can destroy them. So that was the situation is described at the beginning of the Mahabharata. So if you go there, you can see the more the details.
Yeah. There are many things. There are, it is generally, this is nicely described actually. That's why, one of the reasons why Prabhupada wanted that we establish Varnashram colleges, again coming to that point. Of course, the most important and most crucial, vital thing that we should all be doing is taking shelter of the holy name. And that in Kali Yuga, you know, Kalo Nasiva 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 Gatiranyata. Some interpret that instruction as being that, well, you know, we should do nothing else but simply sit down and chant Hare Krishna. Nothing
Sit
else.
down, chant and dance.
Yeah, chant and dance, not even sitting. The instruction is chant and dance, right? And with two arms up. So, so that needs to be understood in its proper meaning and proper context, isn't it? There are personalities, but they're extremely rare, who can just sit down and chant the holy name or dance also, like some of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, the Rakeshwara Pandit, who danced for what, 72 hours, 24 hours non-stop. But the vast majority of devotees, in addition to chanting, need to do other things as well, isn't it? So, so we are living in many ways, very historical period. I mean, the simple fact that we are born, we have taken birth in some inconceivable way on that one day of Lord Brahma, where Krishna appears, and on that same day Mahaprabhu appears, isn't it? And we have taken birth after the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. That means that we, you know, had we taken birth, well, maybe we did, but we don't remember, before the advent of Lord Chaitanya, then we would not know about Lord Chaitanya unless we're very closely connected with Brahmanas who are deeply studying their Shastra.
Pure Brahmanas.
Which in Kali Yuga is very rare. So we're born, you know, we've taken birth after the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, and in some inconceivable way, even people who are not born in India have come to know about Lord Chaitanya because of Prabhupada, isn't it? So many thousands of people who previously had absolutely zero connection with the Vedic culture, zero connection with, who is Krishna. All over the world now, that that in itself is a major miracle. When you look and consider that this is Kali Yuga, how can something like this, how one person within a short span of 12 years can bring the Vedic culture all over the world, as predicted by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is like ongoing. This is like inconceivable. It has, it's miraculous, without, normally they say, those who are like professional people, if you want to accomplish something, you have to have a plan. You have to make so many preparations, etc. Well, Prabhupada's only plan was to simply chant. Yeah, follow the orders of his spiritual master. He had no contact, no friends, no support. He just went based on the order of orders of his spiritual master and the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well, right? So, in other words, although Kali Yuga is still showing all of its horrendous features, very so much of calamities on a daily basis, and seemingly, there seems to be no end to the type of calamities that are taking place. Simultaneously, somewhat, what is it, imperceptibly, I mean, the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taking its roots um, through not only through our ISKCON society, for example. There are so many branches, sub branches, etc., like that, and so it's like there's a major transformation which is taking place, transformation of consciousness, and definitely more and more people are turning towards spirituality, turning towards India as a place of higher knowledge, and a higher culture, etc., like that. So how it's like in a play or in a drama, how it will, how many more episodes, how many more scenes are there before the grand finale, before the climax, before the drama comes to its end or conclusion, we don't know. But it should not be of major concern. Uh, we should try to the best of our ability to play out our little role here and there, and especially by just being, uh, you know, endeavoring to become good devotees, endeavoring to understand uh, what Prabhupada instructed and what we can do. Definitely part of what we can do was very much in connection. We'll understand that probably too late, but in connection with Varnashrama Dharma and establishing what is the one of the basic, if not the most important basic component of the Vedic culture, which is intimately and directly connected with cows and brahmanas, isn't it? We recite that prayer, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha, that the whole world actually only can become uh, a proper place to live. The whole world can become peaceful. People can become happy only when cows and brahmanas are properly cared for, isn't it? When dharma is followed, and so therefore that's a very crucial component for reintroducing, reestablishing the Vedic culture. And that's very often is not seen as direct preaching. We generally think of preaching, well, go out on Harinam, that's preaching. Go out and distribute books, that's preaching. Go out and open a temple, that's preaching. But re-establishing the Vedic lifestyle, the Vrindavan lifestyle in terms of people living localized life, people living with cows, looking after cows, and for those who are not directly in the front line of preaching, this is what they should be doing. This is the lifestyle they should be following. Okay, yeah.
There is a nice drama written by Kaviraj Goswami, how Kali is allowed it to conquer the earth, but Lord Chaitanya stops him. It was written
Yes,
very beautiful.
yes.
You
Actually,
should listen that.
in the early days here in Mayapur, I think they still have, but they had the devotees had a drama group. I mean, we have devotees who have in different places, different countries, and they used to. I think Bhakti Marg Maharaj.
Yeah, he's making all these.
Yeah. So
group.
yeah,
He
quite
comes.
recently. So the name of the group, or that particular drama, was the Age of Kali. You know, and we had very good players who were enacting out. You know what you're referring to. How yes, it's part of the whole. The agents of Kali are taking over the world, and you know they become very strongly established, and then you know, then all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. What's that noise? You know, and then his devotees are chanting Hare Krishna, and then you know the agents of Kali all become disturbed, and Kali himself, hey, we got to stop this and this and that. What's going on here? You know, we're in charge, and this. So this is what's going on in the world today, actually, isn't it? I mean, practically speaking, practically all the leaders in the world are they don't know about dharma. They're not following the principles of dharma, and they're enacting all kinds of legislation to actually further introduce different demoniac elements on the planet, and you know, sing, 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 sing. Hare Krishna. So we don't know actually. I mean, there's so much of potency even in the presence of one devotee of the Lord. One Prabhupada had that understanding and that confidence. That's why he would send sometimes you go alone. You open up Krishna in this country. Because Prabhupada knew, just like the example is there in the Shastra. If you have a forest, big forest, and in that forest, even there's just one flower tree, the aroma from the flowers of that tree will pervade the entire forest. Only one tree. So you need only actually one devotee. Prabhupada was that one devotee who went to America
And Russia.
and Russia and everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Russia is a prime example. 3 days. One person.
Yeah.
One Russian person. It's just like miracles. Miracles are taking place, and we have that great privilege and opportunity to be part of that in our small little seemingly insignificant way. You know, cleaning the road.
But at least we are in this group.
Huh?
At least we are in this group.
Yes. Yes.
Insignificant.
We're sitting in the right place. We could be doing so many other crazy things. You know? So, I mean, Prabhupada told us, Bhagavatam reminds us also, this, especially Kali Yuga, very, very dangerous times. We're living in very dangerous times. So we have to be.
Don't go to the heaven and then come back.
Yeah, right.
Because when you come back, this period is over.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam. Jai.